Hey everybody, welcome back to another class here at Shiage Do Martial Arts. Today we're going to do some cool stuff. I got a new tool that you can make for your home, so you can practice at home. We're going to do some Seisan to warm up, and I got some sweet self-defense moves for you at the end of class. Alright, so bear with me, we're going to have some fun. So today I know you guys did your warm-ups. I know you guys keep doing your warm-ups because I'm telling you to, so make sure you're doing that. But today we're going to do Seisan together as a little bit of a warm-up. I want to do this together so that you guys are still thinking about the sound, listening to the people around you when you're doing this kata. Alright, so I'm not going to talk at all through it. I'm just going to let my gi do the talking. Okay, so when you're doing this kata with me, listen for the sound, do your best to keep up. Alright? So, Yasmin, Kyotsuke, Ray, Seisan, Hajime. Good job. If you were able to keep up with me by listening, perfect. If you were struggling a little bit, try doing the kata again. Pause the video, go back, watch the whole thing, and try to stay with me. What I'm looking for is for you guys to be listening to the sound that my gi makes as I'm moving around and staying with that as we go on to the kata. So, I promised you guys a new tool. So I've got a sweet tool that you guys can build. It's really easy. So this is my mobility trainer, okay? So all it is I tied a washer and a nut to give it a little bit of weight to a string, okay? You can make this out of anything. The heavier it is, the slower it's gonna move, but also the more it's gonna hurt, okay? So just keep that in mind. So this weighs, maybe an ounce. It's not super heavy, but it's not super light either. It's got enough heft to it that it can swing around. I've got extra string on it in case I got to move it around. But all I'm going to do with this is attach it to the ceiling. It's that simple. Now, I've got the way my ceiling's set up, I got these cool little rafter deals, so it makes it real simple. But you could just take a piece of painter's tape and tape your string to the ceiling. There's nothing special to do about that. Now, I got a push pin here, so it makes it real simple for me. But when you hang this up, what you want for this one is for the washer to be just below your shoulder. Okay? What I want it to be above my elbow and below my shoulder. Anywhere in the middle of that is perfect. Right? This is about where I want mine. So when you're hanging it from the ceiling, make sure it works for you. So with this thing, we have a couple cool things that we can do, all right? The fun part about this is it moves, okay? So it gives us a little bit of motion for when we're practicing our stuff. Also, if you put some weight on it, it'll keep swinging for a long time. So here's what we got a couple drills we're gonna do just to kind of work out and use the fact that with this thing moves around like it does, all right? So there's nothing special. You can make this out of fishing line and fishing weights. You can make this out of, I've got hardware, so that's what I made it out of. If you got just a wrench that you want to hang from the ceiling, As I said, don't pick a super heavy one. But if you got like a little 10mm wrench, that works perfect. If you've got a large magnet, literally anything. It's just a weight on a string. So what we're going to do to start is leave it hanging reasonably still. We're going to pick up our guard, and we're just going to practice finding our range. So we're going to start off nice and easy with the back fist. So it's just going to be back fist, back fist, back fist. All right. What I want you to do is try to do like 20 or 30 of them. Okay. Just come out, come really close, and so you guys can see it. I'll do it this way. Right? I want to come out, come really close, and come back. Right? I'm not touching it. I'm just coming close. This is like sparring. I'm going to come out and back and out and back. Okay? Practice it about 30 times. Then what you're going to do is give it a little push. Right? I'm not moving it a lot, but it is moving around now. So what I want to do now is time it. So that when it swings by me or swings by a specific point, I'm throwing my back fist so that I can come close, but I'm not hitting it. Now you can tell if you hit it, because now it's moving a lot. Okay? And if it's moving a lot, that makes this even harder. So you might just need to give it a little, slow it down and put it back to normal if you whack it once. Okay? That's the other reason why you don't want something too heavy, is because if you hit this and it's heavy, it's just going to go flying. Okay? Get mom or dad to double check your knots. Right? If you don't know how to tie a fancy knot, tie a lot of them. That's a secret. Okay? I know how to tie a fancy knot. I kind of tied a fancy knot. Okay? But I also tied a couple extra ones just because. So, just to start, while it's not moving, you're going to do 30 back fists. And you're going to do it with both hands. Okay? You want to come close, but not touch. Okay? Then, give it a little touch. Right? So it's moving around. And try 30 more with each hand. This. If you touch it, see how it just kind of switched directions on me? That's how I know that I touched it. Okay? So maybe I stop it and I start it up again. Okay? If you screw this up, that's okay. So you're going to do 30 back fists with it standing and 30 back fists with it moving with each hand. Okay? Pause the video, get that done, come on back. We're going to do the next one. So for the next one, it's going to be more of a similar. So what I want to do is my ridge hands. Now ridge hands are kind of difficult because what I don't want to do is swing wildly from way back here. If I swing wildly from way back here, I'm going to launch this thing across the room. It's not going to be very good. Okay? What I want is to kind of shoot out to the corner and then come over. Here. Here. See how close you can get without touching it while it's not moving. Okay? The closer you can get, the better control you have. If you touch it, just stop it, start over. You're looking for 30. If you start slow, that's fine, but try to do at least one or two a little bit faster. Okay? Then what you're going to do, give it a little push. Right? Again, this isn't swinging hard, it's just swinging a little bit. So I want to try, as it's coming out, and this is going to tell you if you wind up too much. Because if you wind up too much, it's going to be gone by the time you get it around and through. So you got to come in quick. This, and then you can work up getting a little speed in it. This. So those are the first two, your back fist and your ridge hands. You're going to do each of them 30 times without moving, 30 times with moving with both hands. Okay? Remember, start slow, work up your speed. If you can't do it, failing fast doesn't make it better. Okay? Start slow, work your way up. Be successful. Train yourself to be successful. If you've got to do it slow because you can't, it's stable here and you can't not hit it when you're going slow. You can't not hit it when you're going slow, then slow down even more. Slow down even more, right? Try to get yourself used to not hitting it so that you don't have to even watch it and you know where it is, okay? The last two exercises are going to be a little bit different, okay? So bear with me. If this starts swinging, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a, like a punch coming in, okay? This is kind of like working with a partner who just keeps throwing punches, okay? Or this is nice and slow. It gives you the opportunity to work yourself up a little bit faster. The heavier the weight, the slower this will swing, okay? So if you've got, like for me, I've got a nut and a washer tied to it. If I need this to move faster than it is, maybe I take the nut off and leave just the washer, okay? If you can't find anything and you need it to go a lot faster, the 5 yen coins that I give you guys for your birthdays, if you've got one of those, will work for this. You just need something like a fishing line, really light string. This paracord is not going to do too well with something that light, okay? But, so from here, you're going to basically give it a big swing, all right, and then you're going to step into the web. So you're going to step, step, step. Now remember that if you step in too far, it's going to swing and swing back. All right, so now what I'm doing is while this is swinging, I just don't want it to touch me. If it starts getting a little too close, right, in a nice straight line, this is really easy. If you take it out of a straight line and make a circle, all right, it gets a little bit harder. So give it give it a little bit of speed, give it a little bit of a push, and just practice moving around it, okay? So I'm not going to put a time limit on this, but if you want a time limit, look at a clock, measure out 5 minutes, and try not to let it hit you for 5 minutes. Now, it's not going to swing for 5 minutes. You're going to have to touch it to move it, but try to dodge this for 5 minutes. And then, for the second 5 minutes, you'll get to do what we're all doing, which is adding in some punches, okay? So in Wansu Kata and lower body basic number 9, you learn this technique right here. This twist out to the side and hit, or the step out to the side and punch. Basically all I'm doing is, as this is coming at me, I'm getting out of the way. Out of the way. Out of the way. It's like I'm dancing, okay? It's very rhythmic. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to race this thing. So as I push it, I'm going to get out of the way and throw 2 punches. All right, and try not to let it hit me. You can also try it with a kick. Just don't let it hit you. All right, this is a pendulum. That's what we made. That's what this is called. All right. The shorter the string, the less it'll move, right? It'll move faster but shorter. The longer the string, the slower and longer it will move. If you're short, it's going to probably be moving for a while. It's going to give you some time to figure it out. All right. If you're short and it's moving too slow for you, find something you can hang it from that's a little bit lower, maybe like a doorway. All right. That brings it down a little bit. All right. But what you want is just for this to move, to be able to get out of the way, and then to add in your techniques. Alright, you're going to try to work on that. What that's going to do is it's going to build your speed and it's going to build your reaction. It's really hard when you're practicing by yourself to have something that moves. Now, if you want a real challenge, you build 2 of these. You put them about this far apart, and then you spin them in different directions. right? So now if I've got them, they can, if I'm standing in a spot where they can both hit me, right? Now I've got to move and move, all right? And figure that out. That gets really hard really fast. So build one of these things, as I said. Mine's just a little thumbtack in this, into my ceiling. Piece of paracord is all mine's made out of, with a nut and a washer tied together. That's it. It's as complicated as this has to be. Fishing line works, cross-stitching floss, yarn, any of the like. Anything you want to use, anything you've got at home, baling twine. If you've been to Home Depot lately, you can get that stuff usually by the door, Lowe's or whatever. You can get that stuff for free even, and you can do the same thing with it. So don't go buying anything crazy. All you need, literally, you could do this with keys too. So if I didn't have, if I wanted to just take my keys off, I could tie my keys to it, and it's going to be about the same thing. All right, what I want is basically something that's not fragile. All right, so this is as simple as this is. String, weight, hang it from the ceiling, and you're going to move around it. All right, so give that a shot, and when you're all set, we'll come back and we'll do some self-defense. All right, so we're going to do some self-defense. I've got Amanda with me this time. We're going to do some self-defense straight out of Suensu. So this is Suensu Bunkai. Suensu is your black belt kata. It's the last kata you learn before getting your black belt. It's also the only kata that Master Shimabuku made from scratch. There's a lot of elements to this kata that were pulled from other katas. There's a lot of like Wansu and Kusanku that show up in this kata, but Suensu is its own animal. If you know Suensu, you know that a lot of the bunkai for this kata is really mean in terms of it's just straight maiming people the whole time through. So I picked out a couple of my favorites. We're going to practice them back and forth a couple times. Make sure that you've got a good partner. Somebody who is either confident working with you or has done this before. And make sure you guys aren't hitting each other, because we like our partners and we want them to keep training with us. We don't necessarily want to break them in half on accident or on purpose. So make sure you're working with each other. So the first one we're going to do, nice and slow, is going to be right out of the middle of the kata. Partner's going to throw a punch at your face. What you're going to do is you're going to block an outside block with a shudo. This is a head level block, but it's off to the side. So think open hand side block, butt across your face. So it's going to be block the palm, open hand palm block to the face. It's going to be a palm to the groin and a palm to the face. Okay, so it's going to be quick. So when she comes to punch, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so to you guys, block to the face, palm to the groin, palm to the face. If you know the rest of this, you can do the whole thing. Block, palm, face, and add the knee smash and punch. But that's a little egregious for what we're doing. So if you don't know the whole thing, don't worry about it. All right, practice that back and forth about 10 times each, and we'll move on to the next one. So the next one is going to be also out of the middle of the kata. We're going to block with an elbow. When you're doing kata, one of the things that I always tell you guys is to make sure you look before you turn. And the reason is because you don't necessarily know what the other guy is doing. In Suensu kata, it's extra important because there's a couple of them where you're actually, the turn is the block. We're going to do one of those now. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be facing straight ahead. My partner's going to be off to the side. I'm going to look and see that she's about to punch me in the ribs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn and block with my elbow down. So if I'm turning this way, I'm blocking here to the edge of my body here, okay? So I'm going to keep my elbow in nice and close because it's kind of like an emergency block, a last second block. I don't want her to hit me, right? But I didn't have a lot of time to do anything about it either. So if I'm here, I see her punching, I'm going to come across. Then what I'm going to do is one of two things. If you've been practicing your nukites, you can practice your nukite. Otherwise, what you're going to do is either like a palm up uppercut to the solar plexus, kind of get them to throw up a little bit. Hit them. If you hit them up under the rib cage, right into that solar plexus, they're going to bend and fold right over your hand. The other option is to grab onto their belt. Okay, so if she comes in with a punch, I can come across and uppercut into the solar plex, or I can come in, grab the belt, and pull with an elbow. If I'm doing an elbow, chances are the target's either going to be the sternum or the throat. If I'm aiming for the sternum, I got to make sure I got a good handle on it because I'm going to hit that as hard as I can. Okay. One of the things they teach us in police world is if you got to wake somebody up, you do what's called a sternum rub. So you take your knuckles and you rub it right up and down this hard bone right here as hard as you can. Okay. It's really, really, really painful. And it works best if they're laying on the ground because then you can do it with your whole arm without bending your arm. You can get your whole weight into it. What I want to do is pretty much use their belt or whatever to help get me that same feeling from here. I'm going to hit them with my elbow. I'm going to be right on that sternum. I'm probably not going to break the sternum. That takes a lot of force because you got a bunch of bones you got to break in order to do that. But it's really unpleasant. Okay? So if you're not trying to like damage somebody, but you really want something to hurt, that's a great one to do. If you're trying to damage somebody because they're trying to hurt you, maybe there's another person, they got a weapon or something like that, right to the throat's a great target. All right? So one more time, they come to punch, I'm going to turn with my elbow, either punch with an uppercut or grab and come in with an elbow. All right? Practice that back and forth 10-ish times, both partners, both sides. All right? And come back, we got one last one. So for the last one, this one's going to be the complicated one. In Suensu, there's a really fun move here where you come around, trap their hand, and then break their elbow. Okay, so we're going to practice that one a couple times. Basically, the important thing to remember is the trap isn't the block. And here's the reason. If she throws a punch, right, and I trap it with my elbow, if she starts pushing, right, there's nothing I can do. I can't pinch hard enough to stop her hand from sliding through my elbow and my hand. There's not enough grip there to stop that punch from still hitting me. So what you need to remember is that's not the block. That's just the trap so you can break their elbow. What the block is a forearm block, kind of like our chicken wing block, except a little bit straighter and a little bit lower. So if she tries to punch me in the solar plex, I'm blocking with my arm across here to bring it up to my elbow and come across. Now for this, once the block has been done, just turn a little bit so you guys can see. What I want to do is I'm going to slam down onto her hand with my elbow, trying to break her hand, and then it's going to be in a good spot. If her elbow or her hand lines up with my elbow, my hand's going to be pretty close to her elbow. That's going to change with height. If they're taller than you, all right, your hand's going to be a little bit shorter their elbow. If they're taller than them, your hand's going to be a little bit past the elbow, but it's going to be right at about the sweet spot where you need it to be to break it, okay? Because you want to be just a little one side or the other. If you hit directly on the elbow, probably nothing's going to happen. You have to be slightly one side or the other to get that little bit of wedge action to get it to break apart. So when the punch comes in one last time, I'm going to trap across, come down, and break. So it's two, block, trap, break. Same thing. Don't smash your partner as hard as you can. This does hurt, okay? Their hand. So if you slam their hand into your elbow, you're gonna do some damage, all right? So work with your partner. If it hurts, back it off a little bit. If you don't feel it at all, you can probably ramp it up a little bit. All right? Try to get some speed and power going in there so that you can do the whole block and break at the same time. Okay? They're gonna be quick. All right? Practice that back and forth about 10 times each. And with that, that's the end of our self-defense. All right, so good job, everybody. Thank you. All right, so with that, we are all set. So just get the announcements. So newsletter is in your email. If you haven't gotten that, make sure you reach out to me. Make sure so that I can get your email updated. Also, just as a heads up, the Dojo 2 login app, although it doesn't usually force you to update it, it does have an update out that will let you change things like your phone number and your email and stuff like that by yourself. So if you get a chance, update your app so that you can make those changes and just double check to make sure that everything's in there right, and we'll go from there. T-shirt voting is up. That's also on Dojo Expert. So that's got All the pictures that you can choose from are on Dojo Expert with a link at the bottom to SurveyMonkey. Just make sure you type in your name, the student's name, and which one you want. If your mom and dad want to vote, they can vote. If your grandma and grandpa want to vote, they can vote. If your third cousin, twice removed, best friends, aunts, nephew wants to vote, sure. As long as they know your name to be able to vote with it, that's fine. That's all I need, okay? But make sure that they're, picking the design they want, because we want to have an awesome design for our t-shirt. Tomorrow's going to be the Zoom class. We're going to have the kids class from 5 to 5:40, the adult class from 5:50 to 6:30. I've got a thing that's going to go up probably either today or tomorrow about how to get on there. There's going to be a warm-up. Make sure you're warmed up before your class, okay? Because we're going to get right into it. I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right into the karate part and not be stuck on this is how you do a push-up. I trust you guys. You all know how to do a push-up. You all know how to do a sit-up. So do your best. Stick with it. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Also, remember, the whole month of April, we're doing Focusment giveaway. There's going to be challenges. There was a challenge this week. If you missed it, you got to go find it. And the first 2 people that enter, they do the challenge and then they enter the way that I tell you to as part of the challenge. The first 2 people who do that will get Focusment delivered to their house. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and make sure you're paying attention for those. With that, that's all I got. Thank you guys for tuning in. You are dismissed. Us.